Welcome back to the channel, everyone. We're back on this 2008 Pontiac G6. In the last video, you saw me change these front lower control arms and these front hubs. So now we're gonna dive into the back. As you can see, the back is actually sitting just a little bit lower than the front, and that's because those rear coil springs are shot. They're actually snapped in half, causing the back end to ride much lower and cause a clunk in the rear and not so good handling. So today, we're gonna remedy that. First things first, we're gonna get this thing jacked up, get the wheels pulled off, and I'm hoping I can just unbolt the lower control arm from the knuckle, drop the control arm down, pull the spring out. Now, I'm pretty sure I can do that with the old ones that are already broken, but with these new ones, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to get them back in there. So we're gonna pull these rear tires off and then kind of assess the situation. So upon further inspection, looks like you can just take this bolt out. So it's 18mm nut, 18mm head. Pull this bolt out, put your jack underneath it, lower it down, get all the tension off of the spring, and then you can just force this control arm down, just like this, and then pull your spring off of that piece coming off of the frame right here. So as you can see, this spring broke right there. I don't know where the other half went, somewhere down the road. Now, this is a Moog set of springs. Obviously, they don't look identical, so I'm not positive if these are the right ones. I know you can get, like there's the base ones, which is what this car would have, but then there's also like the GT ones that supposedly have a different part number. I don't know how they're different, but yeah. These were supposed to be the ones for this car, so we'll see. Obviously, it's a variable rate spring. These two at the bottom being closer together than the rest of them. But I'm not sure if they're going to be right. But only one way to find out, I'll just put them in and measure front to back ride height. And if it looks right, then I'll just run it. But I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to swap this piece over to this one, and then we're going to try and stick this one in and compress it. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. Just like that, we have this new spring in here. Be sure to not tighten this up fully until all the weight is on the car. I know that's not the easiest thing to do, but that is the way you're supposed to do it, is torque all your bushings once everything's sitting at ride height. But yeah, I mean, the springs in there, the two rubbers on the top and the bottom, they fit nice. And I was able to compress it with the floor jack. So I'm gonna throw this wheel back on and we'll jump over to the other side. There you have it. That's both rear springs replaced on this car. Actually, a much easier job than what I thought it would be. This one still had, both trunks were still actually in the car. This is the passenger side. This one's off the driver's side. This chunk long gone. But yeah, overall, actually, fairly quick job. Take you a couple hours at most. The car sits a hell of a lot better than it did before. It's nice and straight on the back, and we have about a half inch lower in the front than it is in the back. So I think that's about where it's supposed to be. So yeah, if you got one of these cars, Pontiac G6, I think this Chevy Malibu around that, I don't know, 6 to 12-ish range. I think they're the same platform. So this should apply to those cars too. Yeah, if you have one that's sagging in the back end, you might want to check out those rear coil springs. They good chance they're broken or snapped or pieces missing. and it's not a bad job to do, and it's not super expensive either. So I want to thank you for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe. We got more content coming, and we'll see you guys in the next one.